I have a crazy idea.
Oh man, crazy Nick.
And if
Oh
it
my
works,
god, I wish I was drunk too.
you're listening to the all-new Culture Cast, Chicagoland's finest podcast.
I'm Jen,
I'm the Gorehound.
I'm Nick.
and this is the all-new Culture Cast, here to talk to you this week about the movie Krampus.
It's that time of year where we're getting into the holidays. So what better movie to talk about than the 2015 horror comedy Krampus?
Yeah, and this has been like the most popular Christmas movie, I think, like in the past year or so. So why not?
Well, it's been the only Christmas movie in the past year since it came out last Christmas, and we haven't had Christmas since. So
I'm not sure about that because Netflix has one that's actually topping the top 10 Christmas horror movies called A Christmas Horror Story, to put the story bluntly, which has actually been on a few lists that it's really good. And I saw it as William Shatner in it, and as a born-again Trekkie, I like that.
well, Shatner and everything makes it automatically better. So
Yeah.
but yeah. So before we jump into our topic here, do you want to talk about what we've been watching?
No.
All right.
Absolutely.
Jen, you go first since you were too good to show up last week.
Perfect. I have watched nothing. I moved in the last week, and in the process, was very busy. But guys, look, I'm going to say something. It's going to be very controversial, which is it's going to be controversial, which is Comcast is a bag of dicks.
No, that's not controversial. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, no
I
one
know,
likes
but-
Comcast.
But just trying to cancel my service. I mean, I wasn't even trying to move my service. I was trying to cancel my service. And they were awful. I was like, look, I'll stick with you guys if you just give me the deal that's listed on your website. And they were like, no, that's impossible, blah, blah, blah. I was like, that's fine, then I'll cancel. And then she started talking about how I would still be charged. And I was like, well, I don't want to be charged if I've already paid up. And they're like, well, no, the way our billing cycle works is that you get charged mid-cycle, which makes no sense and is how no other bill I have ever had works. And I swear to God, it lasted over an hour, just me trying to cancel Comcast. And
they will keep on calling you to why did you cancel?
And being put on hold for 20 minutes at a time while they looked for their supervisor. So, and the best part about this is, you know how if you have Comcast, they sell your name to other companies, and then those other companies call you and try to get you the best deal, but they're not even Comcast, they're outside of Comcast.
Yeah.
So one of these people, so I got this weird voicemail, okay, and it was this woman talking about putting chocolate milk in the fridge, and I was like, oh my God, this is somebody coming to kill me. What is this? So I Googled the number, and it's one of those numbers that calls you and tries to sell you Comcast service. Only this woman, I guess somehow dialed me on accident or left me a voicemail on accident, and it's just her talking to her coworkers about chocolate milk. I mean, this isn't technically Comcast's fault, but I'm willing to blame them for just about anything at this point.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to hear about your frustration. So you haven't watched anything else besides That's What I'm Fine?
Oh, well, one other thing. So I've been listening to this podcast. I'm not going to name it because they record in Chicago, and I always feel what if I know them, But I've been listening to this podcast recently, and it's all about, history and focuses a lot on Chicago history. Anyway, and I was listening to the first episode, and they already had letters. They said they'd tweet it out, and so then they're letters at the end. And I'm like, you don't have any listeners yet because this is the first episode. So what I realized is the problem isn't that, we don't get letters. It's that we don't make up letters.
Maybe we should.
I was thinking about doing a spoof advertisement. Obviously, it hasn't come to fruition. Nick, how about yourself?
Not a whole lot. Outside of tonight's topic, I have the movie Gremlins waiting for me to watch. been trying to catch my shows, but the big thing that I've been doing this past week is that my wife and I finally recorded our Ireland podcast. And I don't know when that'll be up, but it turned out to be an extremely long episode, so I might wind up... I don't know how I can get it within an hour time span, so I might become a 2-part episode, so we'll see how that goes. But the more... even better is that she finally picked what her nickname will be on the show, which I'm not going to say what it is until the release of the actual episode. So you'll have to wait in suspense until then.
Will she be joining us anytime soon?
I don't know. She said she had a lot of fun, so maybe she'll be doing more in the future. But I don't know. I think at very least we should do a Ferris Bueller's Day Off podcast because she has never seen it, and we need to get her initial reactions to it.
Cool.
Well, next weekend we're having a ladies' night, so maybe I can bring out a microphone.
There you go.
I probably can't, but maybe.
So, Gorhan, what have you been watching?
I've been catching up with the new season of Vikings. And I'm not really digging it a whole lot. It's, they're in their 4th season. They have departed very, very far from where they were in their first season. It is not violent anymore, and it's more just story-based. And I'm not really following... I'm following it. I just wish that there was something more. It's basically following Ragnar Lothbrok's sons. And I don't care about his sons. It's not even Bjorn. It's about his younger children that have, are coming of age, and it's just I don't care about these guys. I want to see, Bjorn, Floki, and Rollo. Besides that, not a whole lot.
All right. So, do you have a man crush of the week?
I do not.
What?
So,
You've disappointed. You've disappointed our one listener.
No, I looked at our statistics, and I think we have on average 20 listeners now.
You've disappointed 20 people for not having a man crush of the week.
Yeah, well, next time that I have it, because I'm not just gonna pick some guy at random. The only guys that I've seen in media have been, the Vikings, which, like I said, have been disappointing. And I did watch Silent Night, Deadly Night, but yeah, I'm just not seeing a whole lot of heartthrob men around.
For shame. Well, I guess we have to move on then. That's so disappointing. But tonight our episode is Krampus, the horror comedy. Does anyone here want to give a brief summary of Krampus? Or set up the premise, basically? Yeah.
So this was released last year, and it's about this kid who's what was his wish? It was
he wants his family to be happy again.
Yeah.
Wants Christmas to be like it used to be.
So he writes on this note, and then he gets really frustrated, and he's like, I don't care, and he rips it up and throws it out the window, and with it, he evokes Krampus to
kill everyone in the town.
To basically make his broken wish come true. And so it comes, wreaks havoc on the family, and through this, the family comes closer together through this time of toil, and in the end, should I just spoil it?
Yeah, that's fine.
In the end, we realized that Krampus did come to pretty much punish those who have no spirit, and basically gets locked into one of Krampus's snow globes.
Or does he?
I'm pretty sure that the family is
stuck in a snow globe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about that at length in a little bit. But in general, what
Yeah.
what did we think of Krampus? Jen, what was your opinion of Krampus?
Um, it was okay. I guess I thought it would be either funnier or scarier, and I feel like it was not either of those things.
It was kind of mediocre between the two.
Right. I feel like if they'd just gone for one, it would have been better, but it's kind of, I thought there were some interesting parts, and, I'm a sucker for, family drama, but also, here is the other thing I did not understand, but I feel like there were so many actors in there who were way above their pay grade. Like, what are you doing here?
Adam Scott.
Right. Like, why is my TV boyfriend, Adam Scott, slumming in this terrible movie?
Fun fact about Adam Scott, he also was in a Hellraiser movie where he plays like a 17th century like vampire or something like that. He looks awful in it. He's got this wig on. Mm-hmm. It's just it's worth a watch just to see him in that role. One of his first roles.
I'm definitely not going to watch Hellraiser, but
holy smokes! I'm just looking up Adam Scott. I did not realize this, but he was in a Star Trek movie.
Was he?
Oh.
He was Star Trek: First Contact, one of the Next Generation movies. I know exactly the role he played too. It's a
nerd.
What's that?
A nerd.
Well, I guess technically, but it's just like he had like one line, and I just remember the scene. But then again, I have those movies like tattooed in my brain. I have to go back and check that out. That is amazing. So, okay, Gorehound, what did you think of Krampus then?
Well, I was looking forward to it for a very long time because Christmas horror movies is one of my favorite subgenres, and there's not a whole lot of Christmas horror movies. So I was hoping that this could, be added among the ilk of them, and it didn't hit really any note very well. I really like their portrayal of Krampus because when you actually saw him, he was just, as monstrous and evil as could be.
Yeah, he has like a human skin pulled over his face or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, just every part of him is just awesome. No CGI used on him that you can see. And the scenes where you see him are just, nice. It had almost like a... what was that? Walking Signs. Where when you see the aliens, it just makes an impact. And I really like that. And by the end, you see a full scale of him, and you're like, this is, well deserved. We've seen parts of him, and at the end, we really should see, full scale. But none of the characters I was really connected to. It felt like it was just trying so hard to be a good movie, but it just missed on so many notes. I found this very analogous to Gremlins, where both are horror comedies. Both have actually a story behind them. But for some reason, Gremlins just got so many more points than did this. Because you actually cared about the characters. You actually cared about the monsters are exciting and fun. Whereas this, I don't want to see any more minions. I want to see Krampus more. So.
Well, yeah, I think it was really interesting to see kind of this dichotomy between this, I don't want to say realistic looking, but this very, non-CGI Krampus, and then these flying gingerbread men, Yeah. It did not quite work for me, although I think I would have enjoyed them in a different movie.
Well, yeah. I guess I'm going to be the odd man out here because I love this movie. Didn't you? I thought it was great. It may not be one I'm going to go back to watch again and again and again, but I thought this movie did everything perfectly for what you would want. It's interesting you bring up Gremlins because it doesn't seem like a film that was in 2015 in terms of the writing. I feel like this movie would have been at home back in the mid 80s, where you had other horror comedies that the comedy isn't slapstick necessarily, it's more subdued, and the horror isn't like outright gore. It's just kind of
it's very middle of the road between funny and scary.
Yeah, and
it felt very PG-13.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, it's not very gory, and that's okay. I don't mind that.
Right. You're not a gore hound, you know?
That's true. I think if they added a lot of gore to this movie, I think it would have ruined it. I feel like a lesser film would have, like, the comedy would have been too over the top, and it would have been more like it would be tough to take any of it seriously. And at the same time, I'm glad that they kind of held back on Krampus until the end, because it makes you want to see, like, it goes through levels. First you have your little demon with the mushroom, the cookies. Then you have, like, the toys, which were amazing effects. And then eventually you get to Krampus at the end there. And all of that just really worked for me. And I like how they did it there. I think you're right, Gorehound, that some of the characters are just sort of, meh. But I feel they're more well developed than many other horror films that are released nowadays.
Oh yeah, I'll give you that.
See, now, but then it's hard to say if it's that they developed the characters or if it's just because you had good actors,
I think they're developed enough for a film like this. This is not going to be an award-winning film where, it's going to win awards, which is redundant. I just realized that. But I feel that the writing it helped that they had good actors. And kudos for getting, recognizable enough people in this film.
Yeah. Having the uncle in there really added a lot to this, because it added like a very unique character that
David Kushner, the guy who plays the same role in every single movie he's ever in.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, it definitely helps with that, and I don't know. I just think this movie really worked for me. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad that it hit all the right spots for you. That makes me feel good.
I am a little shocked at how much you like this movie.
Well, I'm not going to lead out like a parade like Krampus, yay, and start, you don't like Krampus? What the fuck's wrong with you? I mean, I get where some people may not like this movie, but I don't know. I just thought this was a well put together film. I thought it was incredibly solid.
Yeah, I would give it a solid 3 out of 5, but nothing more than that.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel this film reminded me a lot of, at least in tone, a lot of Army of Darkness. Have you guys seen Army of Darkness? I'm assuming.
Yes.
I know, Gorehound, you've seen it.
Yeah, I just listened to a podcast on it this week.
I feel it reminded me of it in that there are these like horrible things happening, but at the same time, it's completely ridiculous at the horrible things happening. And what really stood out to me is like when they're being attacked by the toys, and Adam Scott's going, "Oh, come on now, come on!" Like I see that. I see a similar scene like that in Army of Darkness with Bruce Campbell trying to attack something, and then a bunch of little versions of him start running around and start attacking him with like forks. I think that was Evil Dead 2.
Army of Darkness would not have come to mind. I don't know if because I was kind of thinking, like, keeping my mind focused on Christmas only.
Well, they're very different films. I mean, but I feel it's, in terms of tone, there's a lot. It reminded me of it.
I can see that.
Like, Army of Darkness is goofy. Oh, go on.
I felt like it was very related to Home Alone, where basically Kevin McAllister is. I have to say, I did quite a bit of review on this, and somebody else, some other guy, in some review gave me this idea, which I was like, oh my gosh, it totally hits. But it's just like Home Alone, where Kevin McAllister, the central boy, is like making a wish, and basically to
I wish my whole family would disappear.
Pretty much. And then Krampus kind of takes the place of the two robbers, and hilarity ensues.
How amazing would it be if Krampus showed up Home Alone? Like,
oh my god!
Like they're just robbing the house, and Kevin's doing all this stuff, and then boom, Krampus appears.
Yeah.
I think you could apply him to a lot of Christmas movies. Like, imagine if he, showed up at Charlie Brown's Christmas dance and destroyed all those children. I mean, you could. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, and Krampus is quite on the rise now.
Yeah.
But this has been the first, legit Krampus movie that has been released, because I know that there are at least 2 other ones pretty readily available, but both of them are just like god awful.
Apparently there's one where Krampus fights Santa Claus. That sounds pretty amazing in its awfulness.
And that's actually the new one, which I am really excited to see because it does look really good.
I would say that this Krampus movie is like has been the what do you call it? The
rebirth of Krampus.
Well, like it's been the most mainstream of the Krampus movies. Most of them have been sort of like direct to DVD, direct to Netflix, where no one watches them unless they purposely search out for them.
Right.
Like this one's like Krampus for the mainstream.
Yeah, because I remember we saw this in theaters when it was released, and I was really excited.
I remember that.
Down. And I was disappointed because I like this genre so much, and I so wanted this to be a Santa sleigh, but it's just. I mean, I think I would honestly watch. Actually, I can actually tell you honestly, I would rather watch Santa's sleigh over this because that got me excited.
Now, what is Santa's sleigh?
Is that the one with Goldberg?
Yeah, Bill Goldberg. It's basically just this straight up. It's a much more intense horror comedy, and there's like a lot more nudity and gore and dirty jokes.
And Bill Goldberg plays Santa Claus who goes around and kills people.
Yeah, and his one-liners are so good. It's so much fun, and I'm gonna watch it this year because it's tradition now, along with Rare Exports and the other Gremlins that I'll watch this season.
I was really surprised it didn't work for you, Gorehound.
I wanted it to. It's just the key wasn't as what I wanted it to be because as a Christmas horror.
Christmas horror. I like where this is going.
I find it difficult to really be serious. It's. I don't know. I mean, because there's Rare Exports, which is a very serious and dark comedy. Mm-hmm. You guys have seen that, right?
I am aware of it, but I haven't seen it.
Rare Exports?
No, I don't think I've even heard of it.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Why am I even talking to you two? That's a very serious horror. Yeah, Christmas horror, which I guess is really good at being serious. But then again, I mean, Santa Claus is something that's more of an idea, and when you personify him in a horror movie, it makes him odd in a sense that you don't typically see. I don't know where I'm going with that, but
someone is not happy with you, Gorehound. He's like, stay on topic. Where are you going?
I'm telling you, okay, Ben.
Is your dog's name Ben?
I'd say about once a podcast, Ben's like, hey, did you know Ben's here?
He should be our honorary mascot for the all-new Culture Cast.
Sometimes he sits on the couch and just looks like this like cranky teddy bear, and I feel like that would be the perfect icon for our show, you know?
Let's talk about this ending. We touched on it at the very beginning. The movie ends with...
Oh, I remember the ending. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad we're talking about the ending here because it's one of those things where
let me put the setup so our listener our 20 listeners who click on this by accident know what we're at the end of the movie. It looks like it was all a dream that Max, the protagonist, had, but then he finds the bell on Christmas Day, and everyone remembers, and then the camera pans back, and it looks like the whole family is trapped in a snow globe on Krampus's shelf. And I've been reading online, there have been two main interpretations of this. The first one is that they're actually trapped in a snow globe, and Krampus has them prisoner for whatever reason.
Of which the Gorehound agrees.
And number two is he doesn't have him in a prison, but he has... This is him keeping an eye on the family. Like, he could watch them, and when they screw up again, he's coming back to get them.
So I think that's really interesting because here's my follow-up question, because now Gorehound, you said you follow the first theory, which I can accept.
Yeah.
But if you follow that first theory, like what is are they trapped forever like Christmas morning? Do they get to go live their lives, or are they like stuck forever in this like picture perfect Christmas morning, but they can never escape it? Or is it kind of a Groundhog's Day thing where they're just reliving the same day over and over? Or what do you think?
Well, just with the idea of snow globe, where it's just like whatever moment is in the snow globe is trapped in time. It's not about, how this family is going to survive. It's just the fact that they are trapped. Mm-hmm. And that is the end of the thought. So, I don't think that Krampus is keeping an eye on them, because Krampus came there to grant his broken wish. And he did that, and now he's done with it.
I guess, but my question is that he took the wish back, and then Krampus threw him into that pit. Whereas the grandma, when she was a little girl...
Yeah, but he laughed at him. He laughed at him, saying, "You're stupid. I'm Krampus."
See, I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just following the thought down the rabbit hole, and I wonder if he's laughed as he was being like he was like amused at this has never happened before, because like when the grandma was a little kid and she did the same thing, Krampus just let her live, and things went on. And she didn't question it, but like he's questioning it. So like I don't know.
What's the difference between the boy and the grandma?
He confronted Krampus and called him out. Like, no, I take back my wish. Just leave us alone, you jerk. I don't think he said those exact words, but. Mm-mm. And the grandma was like, "Well, I guess I have this bell now."
There's some sort of like generational thing going on there, I think. I mean, you got to think. So grandma's got some strong Eastern European something going on, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know exactly what language she's speaking, but she's clearly speaking like, that convenient language that then turns to English when the plot calls for it.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's German.
Okay, but so she clearly like lived through some shit as a kid, like clearly there was something going on there. Like, do we think that's supposed to be a metaphor for the war? And like, this is somehow about like World War II versus, just, kids these days are cranky with their texting and their, I don't know, game systems, or, is there some sort of like generational shift there? Something about millennials?
I'm sure if you look deep enough, you could find something, but if I want to say that it would be incidental, because I honestly don't think the movie put that much thought into something like that. Now, that's just my initial thought. Maybe there is more to it, but I just don't know what that would be.
When I remember seeing this in theaters, and I remember that was the most disappointing thing about this was the ending, because I so much wanted to see Santa Claus come in and save the day.
I see. I think that would have ruined it. That was the expected.
That doesn't sound
thing.
like a horror movie ending.
No, because I didn't. While I was watching this, I honestly didn't consider the horror movie because it was very PG-13, and I was expecting Santa to come out and save the day.
Nah, it would have been terrible if they did that. That would have been that would have ruined everything. And here, I'm sorry. What was that, Jen?
Oh, I was about to say. So, in a world where there is a Krampus, does that mean there is also a Santa? I mean, because the beginning of the movie, we're talking to, curly-haired whatever child, and he still believes in Santa and his mean cousins, who are dressed as boys. That whole thing was very strange. But it's like, I feel like they're trying to go for some sort of weird social commentary, but I'm not following. Anyway.
I believe Santa exists in the same universe.
So Santa does exist in the same universe, because Max believes in Santa. Santa, they don't believe in Santa. There is a Krampus. Could that be that there is then also a Santa? Could that be the sequel? Santa comes and breaks all the globes or something?
Oh, man. I would watch that. But then again, I watch pretty much everything. So
I could see a Santa existing in this fictional world the way, since Krampus is real, Santa should be real. I see that happening. But I like the fact that Santa didn't show up in here for two reasons. One, if he just showed up magically at the end and solved all the problems, that'd be a disappointment. That'd be some weak writing right there. Like, they didn't know how to get out of a jam, so, Santa shows up. It's like, okay. But I also kind of think it's one of those, like, this is just my own theory, my own, like, how this world works. I'm thinking Santa and Krampus have a deal. And they're like, all right, this family's being a-holes. Do you want me to take care of it, Santa? And Santa's like, fine, it's in your hands. I'm not dealing with this shit. And that's when Krampus takes over.
No, but it's not up to them. It's up to the child.
Wait. Are you rewriting the Book of Job to be about Krampus and Santa?
Not intentionally, but how awesome would that be?
I mean, that you're basically describing the Book of Job. In which God, not to oversimplify it, but God's sort of a jerk in that story. It's just like, let's see what happens if we torture this family.
Well, I'm thinking it's more like the rules of the holiday it's like a bureaucracy. Like, Santa handles the naughty and nice, but when someone like Max comes along and defiantly rips up his Santa and his wish, and where it gets trundled down to Krampus, and Krampus is like, all right, this is my job now, I gotta go take care of this, and Santa's like, all right, do your duty, and he handles his job.
I mean, that really makes Santa a jerk in your theory.
Well, he gives coal who have been bad, so
Is that Santa who's giving the call, or is it Krampus?
that's a good question. Maybe Krampus's violence against families depends on how bad they actually were.
I think that if the child had not ripped up the wish and he simply threw his unripped piece of paper out the window, his Santa would have come and brought Chris's spirit back.
Probably. I do feel that Krampus is overreacting. Like, the kid ripped up his thing in a moment of frustration, so now all the town has to die.
Krampus, calm the shit down, okay?
There is, so you do have this kind of idea of family, blood libel, that kind of thing. There is sort of a traditional idea that the sins of the father, etc. So I could see killing the whole family or trapping the whole family in a globe. But yeah, they killed the UPS driver and everyone else.
The boyfriend's house, presumably, everyone got taken out. Krampus is cleaning house. But
at the beginning of the movie, they talk about how oh, the Johnsons are in Florida and the so-and-sos are in Hawaii. Like, think about what happens when they come home.
Yeah.
And just like all their neighbors have been slaughtered by an elf.
So, going back to the ending, I don't know which one it is. I think there could be an argument made both ways. But I watched this movie with a couple of friends of ours, Christopher and Henry, and they've seen the movie before. And Christopher brought something up in that he says that the snow globe is sort of a representation or sort of plays on the notion of a Santa Claus. Like he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. Well, this is Krampus's version of it, of watching you constantly. Which I think is kind of a neat sort of play on that. But if that is
add into your theory that the family will continue to live over the watchful eye of Krampus.
That plays into that theory. So I don't know which one it is. I have, as of this recording, I haven't made up my mind, but I think it's an interesting theory either way.
I like that as a theory. I'm still going to go with trapped forever on Christmas morning, doomed to live it out, Groundhog's Day style.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be very interesting.
It would be. I kind of like that the movie left it open-ended like that, where it kind of leads to, what do you think that means? Because then it has conversations like this.
I think it means we're going to get a low-rent sequel in like 2 years.
With none of the original cast. And
hands down.
None of the original cast.
No, you'll get one. You'll get like...
yeah.
Maybe they'll bring back the grandma somehow. And maybe Aunt Dorothy, who was played by Conchetta Farrell from 2.5 Men. But that'll be it. Everyone else.
Mm.
Oh, that's who that was. I really enjoyed that she didn't like children. I feel like you don't see a lot of that in movies.
No, that worked. And she played that role perfectly. Like when she was giving kids alcohol.
No. I also wanted to mention that the movie is directed by Michael Dougherty, who also did, I think, becoming a cult horror film, Trick or Treat, which was I find to be better than this one. And fun fact.
He also did was a writer for a couple of the X-Men movies.
Yeah. Apparently directing the new the 2019 Godzilla with Mothra.
Interesting.
But hopefully we'll get Godzilla v King Kong before that.
They plan movies so far in advance these days. Like, I just...
Yeah, my work assignments come in, and I have to do them in, like, the next 4 hours.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't know how anyone... I mean, I think it's so funny when they, like, announce that a movie's going to open on, March 13th, 2019, still looking for writers.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yeah, everything needs to be an interconnected universe nowadays. We can't just have a movie. Everything has to be big, and so that's why we're getting Godzilla versus King Kong. Thanks a lot, Marvel. Well, do we have anything else to say about Krampus?
Toni Collette, you could do better.
So, as Gorehound's on his laptop, pounding away.
I was about to say, is someone doing like a Doogie Howser end of credits writing in their diary?
No, I realized that there's a new Krampus movie out on Redbox, and I'm desperately searching for screenshots to see if it's anything legit.
Okay, I was trying to look up Krampus on Redbox. I would say based on my reading of it and also the 1-star reviews, it is probably not legit. Definitely watch it.
Yeah, but everything on Redbox, people hate. Every horror movie on Redbox, people hate. Honestly, I've never seen like a good horror movie review on Redbox. They apparently hate everything.
Oh my god, I had previous no opinion on any of the people reviewing Redbox movies.
Yeah, they know nothing.
Okay.
That's why you go to Rotten Tomatoes for your quick 1-minute reviews.
The only way to fight this is to fight them with knowledge. We're gonna have, if I don't find a review from the Gorehound under each Redbox horror movie, I'm going to be very disappointed. You have 1 week.
Well,
did I hear a monster coming?
I got a surprise for you guys. Since in honor of the movie Krampus, I was able to we have our first special guest star on this show. It's Krampus himself. So let me get him over here for just a sec. I hope you guys are ready for this. So. Hello, this is Krampus.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh, Krampus!
Hey Krampus, how are you doing today? Pretty good. Getting ready for the Christmas.
How many children are you going to drag into hell this year, are you thinking?
Oh, people talk about that too much. I don't drag them into hell. I eat them.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just joking. I just scared them a little bit.
Krampus, where do you live? If we ever want to write you a love letter, where do we send it to?
I rent the loft that Santa Claus has up in the North Pole. It's small, but I don't need much room.
How many killer gingerbread men do you have?
Oh, the movie embellished that. I don't have killer gingerbread man, but I like to eat gingerbread man. Did you make me some gingerbread man?
No, I'm putting that out on Christmas Eve, obviously.
Have you been naughty or nice this year?
I think we all know the answer to that.
Yeah, I'm going to guess not on that one, Jen.
You get me.
Oh, you naughty girl.
So, Krampus, what did you think of your movie? It is okay. They're a little over the top, but Adam Scott and we go back a long way, so it's all good.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. How'd you know Adam Scott? That's an odd pairing that you would meet him. We shared a room back in the day, back in my college years when I traveled the world. Oh, that's odd. Very odd.
Was that back when he was a vampire in the 17th century? From Hellraiser.
Gorehound, that was just a movie. He's not the real vampire, as far as I know.
Krampus, I have a question. What is your favorite horror movie?
I don't watch horror movies. Too scary. I prefer romantic comedies.
Oh my god, me too.
So, Krampus, with Christmas coming up, what do you want Santa Claus to bring you for Christmas? That's simple. I would like a 60-inch widescreen Ultra HTV with the player and a complete box set of the Golden Girls. Why the Golden Girls? That seems kind of odd for you, Krampus.
Yeah, dude, go for the Gilmore Girls.
No, Golden Girls. Much longer, much funnier. I need something to do between January and November.
Are we ever going to see you again?
I don't know. Do you want me to come back?
Yeah, Gorehound, what do you think? I mean, I know we don't usually bring guests into the studio like this, but...
Hey, man, we got Jen on here, so we could use another monster.
Burn!
I love it.
Gorehound, you just made the naughty list.
Welcome to Naughty List, dude. We have beer.
Nice.
Well, Krampus, thanks for stopping by. I hope we see you again in the future, but I don't know what your plans are. You never know. I might be, I might not be. Okay, Krampus. Well, I will. We'll see you later. All right, goodbye, everyone.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Bye,
Bye.
Krampus.
That was so exciting. He looks really good, you know?
Well, he's lost weight.
Mm-hmm.
He's been working out this past year.
Sure.
Do you even lift, bro?
All right, that was our special guest for quite the surprise. But what? Any final thoughts on Krampus before we get out of here this week?
It's so hard to say something mean about someone who you just met, like in their movie.
Well, he didn't make the movie. It was a movie about him. So
Right. But it makes it harder,
he did say they exaggerated a couple things. So
They always do. That's Hollywood.
yeah, that's true.
Camera adds 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It really does. It really does.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Gorehound, do you have anything?
Yeah. Solid 3 out of 5 movie. It's much better than many Christmas horror movies out there, but it still doesn't make my, top 5. It's very middle of the road between scary and funny, and it's okay.
I guess I'm the odd man out. I liked it. I thought it worked for me, so that's that. All right. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I gotta go take a Krampus. So, thanks for joining me tonight, Gorehound, Jen. Another great episode. And for those of you out there, we'll be back at you next week with a brand new episode. Should we tell them what we're going to talk about? Or should it be a surprise?
Gremlins.
Okay, it's not going to be a surprise. We'll be talking about another Christmas comedy, which we referenced earlier, Gremlins. So come back for that.
As we fade out, you can look forward to... the Gremlins theme.
So that just happened.
I don't get what I don't.
It's the Gremlins theme. That's just on and on and on and on and on.
Well,
I literally remember nothing about this movie.
Once again, I'm Nick.
I'm the Gorehound.
And I'm Jen.
And we'll see you next time, everyone. You've been listening to the all-new CultureCast, where every episode is all new. Check out our blog, Zach and Nick's CultureCast, at znculturecast.wordpress.com, and find us on social media. Send us an email at nick.culturecast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, comments, and requests. Theme music by bensound.com. The all-new CultureCast, a saltwater production, copyright 2016.
Santa is very racist in Amsterdam.
Thank you for that.